Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. Like to say hello and welcome to I Am the Change. My name is Michelle Simon. I started this in 2019 as my New Year's resolution, stating out loud that I was breaking up with fear, I was breaking up with shame, and I was breaking up with guilt, followed by a weekly video for an entire year. And this is the beginning of year 6. I had many other New Year's resolutions between then and now, and they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, and they're on Instagram. So please go back and check them out. This is your first time seeing me. This year, I am working on forgiveness for myself and for others. And all the kind of work I've been doing, you can't really put a dollar amount to, because it's not the kind of work you get paid for. I do get paid for it in other ways, but not monetarily. So I'm working on forgiveness, and if you guys have been watching me and following me, I've been sharing what my life has been like on this journey, because I always wished I had somebody to tell me what was normal. I was looking for people, like, what is normal? Could somebody just tell me what is normal? And I couldn't find anybody to tell me what normal is. And I realized that's part of my job, is to tell you, whoever's watching me, what my normal is like for me. And hopefully you can relate to some of that and not feel like you're not on the right path, or you've gone off course or something like that. I wanted to know what was normal, not to shame and blame myself, but just to see, okay, this happened to so-and-so. All right, that's okay. Like, this is normal. So, I heard normal is a setting on a washing machine, and that is all. There's no such thing as like normal. So I've been talking to you guys that I've been living with CRPS type 2, which is, I thought it was an autoimmune disease. It is a neurological disease, and I have chronic constant pain of my spine, my chest, my shoulder blades, my left arm, and it goes in spurts. I was on my 4th medicine for that. I've just come off of it, because every medicine I was every medicine I was on for that had such horrific side effects that I'm like, I might as well just suffer with the pain. Well, I think everything is coming out of my body, and the pain is just so bad. It's also referred to as the suicide disease, because most people want to kill themselves. The pain is so bad. It's constant chronic nerve pain, and it's all up my spine from like my thoracic all the way up, and it just hurts. And today is day 3 of a really bad day. I was doing good for a couple of weeks. I had like a reprieve, and not that I was better, but I wasn't like how I am now. And how I am now is like how I was before I got diagnosed. It just hurt so bad all the time, and I kept feeling like I needed to be hospitalized. And I did go to the hospital, and every time I went, they said there was nothing they could do. So anyway, in the meantime, I've been working on that, and I'm trying to find a doctor who will actually remove the hardware out of my last cervical fusion. I had my 4th cervical fusion last January, and I am looking for a surgeon who will remove my hardware. I swear, a piece of hardware is pressing on a nerve, and they keep telling me everything looks great. but it's not great. And I had this happen to me 10 years ago, and they kept telling me everything looked great. And guess what? I was living with a non-union fusion for over 10 years and nobody caught it. And I stopped going because everybody kept saying, Michelle, this is fine. This is just your life. And this is not going to be my life. I'm not staying like this. It's that painful. So I've been talking about my chronic pain, and I've also been talking to you guys. I didn't talk to my dad for over 10 years, my sister for over 15 years, and my mom for over 28 years. And because of the work that I've done, I'm in 12-step programs, 3 12-step programs, one for alcohol and drug abuse. I am in a second one for adult children. I'm an adult child from a dysfunctional family, and I'm also a recovering food addict. So that means I'm off of sugar, flour, wheat, and caffeine on top of drugs and alcohol. Now, I do take muscle relaxers and painkillers for this pain because it is so horrific and I can't live like this. So that is an exception to the rule because of what's going on with my body. So anyway, but I am not trying to get high at all. I don't want to be high. It's like, I just don't want to be in pain. So I told you guys I've been talking with my family, and last week I was also talking about codependency. And codependency is just like, I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I'm just going to do it anyway, and not being able to stop yourself. And, you know, being someone else's buffer and cleaning up the mess for somebody so they don't have to feel the pain of what has happened. And I've been guilty of that, and I've done that my whole life. And I think it was because I wanted people to love and like me and not reject me. And I'm learning what other people think of me is none of my business. And it's okay if somebody doesn't like or love me. I'm still going to be okay anyway. And I'm not going to put myself in positions that aren't good for me anymore. Which leads me to let you guys know that I am no longer speaking to my mother again. And, you know, I heard for years from a lot of people that you only get one mother. How could you not talk to your mother? All of this guilt and shame about not having a relationship with my mother. And it was horrible. I'm like, who would not want a mother? What kind of girl would not want a mother? What kind of girl would rather not talk to her mother for 28 years than have one? Like, nobody asked that. Everybody just said, oh, you only get one mother, you should talk to her. There's mental illness in our family, and it has not been addressed. And when mental illness is not addressed, you push, I don't want to say you, but this person pushes people away to the point that it wasn't healthy for me. And I finally had my girlfriend call me up and yell at me and say, Michelle, if you, it's like hanging around somebody who's drinking, but I don't drink anymore. So the thing is I need to not hang around people who are drinking while I am not drinking. So I hope I got that right. I'm trying to get everything in. So I had to write a breakup letter and a detach with love letter, which I could never detach with love. I used to detach with an axe, dead to me. And this was a letter that I wrote, and I'm going to read it to you guys because I had to do this. My mom sent me a message. Hi, Michelle, I love you. How are you feeling? And this was after I yelled at her the other night. I was so mad. I was yelling at her, and you guys, I'm not really a yeller. So for me to get to this point, it's not good for my well-being. But I realized I'm going to send you the goodbye letter, and then I'm going to tell you something. So this was like 3 days after I yelled at her. Hi, Michelle, I love you. How are you feeling? And this is what I sent back. Hi, Mom, I love you too. From now on, I'll be loving you from a distance. I need some space. I'm sure you can understand that. I hope you are able to take care of yourself and do the things you need to do in order to be well. I will be doing the same. I hope and pray that you are able to get out of your unsafe living conditions. If you're not able to do this, I'm sure the authorities will step in and help. Be well. You guys, I had to do that. It wasn't good for me. And I was a little disappointed in myself that it got to the point that I started to yell at her. And what I realized in that moment when I was yelling at her, I was screaming at a deaf person and getting mad at them because they couldn't hear me. So I was screaming at a deaf person and getting mad that they couldn't hear me. She cannot hear me. However, she can't hear anybody else either, because when you are sick like that, the only thing you can hear is how to survive every day. And she's in survival mode, so she can't hear what I'm saying. And as a little girl, I used to think she purposely wasn't listening to me. She was ignoring me. She hurt my feelings, these horrible things she said to me, which she doesn't remember any of those. But, and I believe that. I really believe she doesn't remember that. So me getting to the point of yelling at her, that's not good for me. So I had to break away again. And you know, it's to be continued. My dad had a heart attack last Friday. He had 2 stents put in. I honestly believed he wasn't going to wake up from the surgery. He is still alive, which I'm so grateful for. He does not want to be here. He's in so much physical pain. But we've been talking and communicating, and it's been amazing. So I'm so grateful. I've been gifted this time of talking to him, but I've been crying on and off nonstop for like the past 3 weeks. It just starts coming out of me, and I can't stop it when it starts. And I am in heavy grieving of my parents, and they're still here. So I can't stop crying. And it's weird, when I talk, when I cry, I can hear my mom's voice in me, and it gets me so upset because I start to think I sound just like her, and I don't want to be like her. And it's just, I can't even describe it, but this is what I'm going through, and this is what I'm sharing with all of you, because I wish I had somebody who could tell me this kind of stuff. And so permission to not talk to your family if that's what you need to do in order to be well, to get well, to stay well. That's something I had to do too, and I'm still currently doing. So really what's happening is I have boundaries, and I'm able to stick with them. And, you know, a boundary isn't just about me telling you what they are. It is actually following it through with an action. So the action part is the hardest part, by the way. I just want to say thanks to everybody's watching. Please stay safe, stay tuned, and I will see you all next week. Thanks again.